women.
And he's quite right.
Chris Quinn, Children's Commissioner, do you admire this pupil for standing up equal rights for men as the women are giving?
Well, look, thanks for having me on, Stephen. I think I want to just start by saying how unfortunate it is that we have a dispute between a child and a school. And I want to offer, if there's anything that I, myself, and my office can do to help diffuse the situation, I would encourage Dylan and his daddy, Darren, to get in touch. I think I want to just start by saying that I appreciate the need for uniform rules and also the great work going on in schools. But I do wish to raise that this is an issue that has been going on for a long time. So your caller there, David, highlighted, some of his lived experiences. So when I talk to young people and children about uniforms, it is an area for discussion. They often discuss hair rules, makeup rules, earrings, tights, skirts, socks, and all the rest. But I do think from a child's rights perspective, there are a few different things that I will come back to in a minute. But we have an opportunity here because Dylan's daddy there talked about the EA guidance. And as you'll know, the Minister for Education is progressing a uniform bill. And I think that bill could be part of the solution because in the bill we talk about comfort, affordability and gender neutrality. I think from a child's rights perspective and from Dylan's perspective, I would be talking about the best interest. So the best interest of that child is that he's at school, and it sounds like school wants him back and he wants to be back.
But at the end of the day, you're a commissioner, Chris, not presumably to. And look, I'm not trying to be cheeky here, but you can't sit in the middle of everything, can you? So in terms of the principle of a different rule for a female and a different rule for a male, in this instance, it's jewellery. How can it be a health and safety issue? There's no added health and safety concern for a boy than there is for a girl, so it can't be health and safety.
Well,
so
look,
where do you stand on this?
Yeah, look, I'm not on the fence at all about gender neutrality. We have been very clear in our advice to government about uniform rules. And as I say, the key things that young people, children and parents tell us are comfort, affordability and gender neutrality. So I would agree that the rule for a boy should be the same as a girl.
So you think the school's wrong here?
Well, I think Dylan should be proud of himself because the school has, in what you have read back, the school has talked about how they're going to open up a consultation with parents, teachers and children. That's a win. That's a win for everyone. So if I look at this from a child's rights perspective, Article 12 of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child talks about the child's right to have a say. So it's great now that school is going to open the conversation up with parents and with pupils. I think pupils need to be part of setting uniform rules and agreeing to them.
Yeah, but they are listening to their children's commissioner. Let's take this beyond Ballyclare Secondary, because I don't think it would be fair to suggest that Ballyclare Secondary are employing a policy out of the norm. They're not. Many schools have rules which discriminate between male and females. Skirts that girls are, like female pupils are forced to wear in the dead of winter, and they can't put on a pair of trousers to stay warm. So as their children's commissioner, what are they hearing from the person representing their rights today? If there's a rule for boys, should there be a rule for girls? The same. If there's a rule for girls, does it need to be the same for boys? Yes or no?
Yeah, well, look, I think I've said it twice already, gender neutrality. So our position, my position as Children's Commissioner is that uniform rules should be the same for boys and for girls. And that goes for earrings or other garments.
Does that apply to skirts?
Of course, yeah, of course. And we've presented this to Education Committee. In fact, we had young people presenting to committee on this very issue. So our position is very clear. And again, I can refer schools or listeners or yourself even to our advice to government, which is on our website. So our position is very clear. There's no grey area with it.
What about the flip side, which is the freedom for a school to set their own rules? And if they decide, as Ballyclare Secondary clearly is, it is their written policy that there's a difference in entitlement between male and females.
Yeah, well, look, again, I really appreciate the need for uniform rules. And similarly, when I talk to young people, the majority of young people agree that uniforms are, by and large, a good thing. But as I say, the guidance is grey. I mean, Darren highlighted that. You know, when he went to EA website, the guidance is great. And so, of course, schools do have the right to set their own uniform policy. My advice would be that they do that in partnership with the pupils.
Okay. Now, there's a you know, both can't be right. The school is saying that they refute any suggestion that a child is not welcome at their school, and that this family, the child and the parent, the dad and the boy, is saying they are being excluded from school. So, look, are you prepared to intervene and find out if that child has been excluded and get him back into school? Or at the end of the day, are you prepared to do something to get this kid back into school?
Yeah, of course. Look, my office and I are here to support. And as I would say, look, it's terrible. The bad thing is that this child is missing school. He's in his GCSE years. But that goes for any child in any school. If I can help diffuse this situation, but it's really good. I mean, the school has refuted that. You know, the school is saying the child is welcome back. The parent and the child have experienced something different. Let's try and bring this to a resolution.
Okay.
If there's anything I can do, I'm more than happy to do so. And Dylan and Darren can contact my office. I can leave the details with you.
Chris, thank you very much.